Hello NinBuzz, how are you guys doing today? My name is Shadow of Resho Gaming, and I'm here today to bring you the next exciting episode of the new Community Choice. Last time we asked you guys what your favorite Donkey Kong member was. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the results. Coming in at number 5, we have Dixie Kong at 13% of the votes. Dixie Kong is Tiny Kong's older sister as well as Diddy Kong's girlfriend. Aw, how adorable. Dixie Kong is in almost every main series Donkey Kong game. She's most well known for her appearances in the Donkey Kong Country franchise, where her main powers is that she can use her hair as kind of a helicopter so she can get to places a little bit easier than other people could. She's a very popular Kong member, but not nearly as popular as number 4, which is the leader of the bunch himself, Donkey Kong, at 15% of the votes, just barely beating out Dixie Kong. I was actually quite surprised to see Donkey Kong so low on the list. He is the Kong member. His face is like the entire series, so to not see him higher is kind of surprising. Donkey Kong from the Donkey Kong series is pretty much in every Donkey Kong game because he's named after the series. DK is one of the strongest Kongs around, but not nearly the brightest. I mean, if you ever played one of those games, you can see he's not too bright in the head. DK gets criticized for being kind of stupid a lot, but really all you have to do is be nice to him and don't come between him and his friends and his love of bananas, and everything will work out okay. And speaking of Donkey Kong, coming in at number 3 is the original Donkey Kong, Cranky Kong, at 18% of the votes. Have I said Kong enough yet? Cranky Kong is the original Donkey Kong from the arcade game, and is now a whole lot older than he was back then. Cranky usually is not a playable character in the Donkey Kong series. He's only been about like 3 or 4 main series games where he's actually playable. He's usually there to help you along, kind of like Donkey Kong 64, where he gives you new power-ups and items and whatnot. But more recently, he's actually been in some more current games as a playable character, which is really awesome. In Tropical Freeze, you can use Cranky Kong to bounce on spikes with his cane, or just use his cane to bounce a little bit higher to different areas. So he was kind of a cool new aspect to the Donkey Kong series, and I really hope they continue to develop his character so he can be playable in some more games, because he's an awesome character. Alright, coming into number 2, my personally most hated Kong member of the entire family, Funky Kong, at 21% of the votes. Now, nothing against Funky Kong, it's just that I really hate him. I don't believe Funky Kong has ever been a playable character in a main series Donkey Kong game. He is usually just there to, kind of like Cranky Kong, just help you out, giving you some new weapons and some new power-ups. But the game that made me hate him the most, Mario Kart Wii. I cannot stand hearing the sounds of his grunts as he passes me into first anymore. I'm sorry, I could just not stand his voice in that game. It drove me to insanity. Okay, with that out of the way, I think we can finally move on to the number 1 spot, which is a much better character. Coming in at number 1 with 25% of the votes, we have Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong, as the games put it, Donkey Kong's little buddy. He goes on pretty much every adventure that Donkey Kong goes on, because they're best friends and they go everywhere together. Diddy Kong has his peanut pop guns that he can use to shoot at bad guys in most of his games, and he also has his jetpack, which is pretty cool. I mean, what other monkey has a jetpack besides Diddy Kong? Diddy Kong even got his own game. That's how much people loved him. He got Diddy Kong Racing for the Nintendo 64, and it's probably one of the best racing games for that console. Diddy Kong's just a really cool guy. He's really charismatic and awesome in every way, shape, and form. Well, alrighty, congratulations, Diddy Kong. That is good for you, but we do not have time. We have to move on to next week's question. So I'm going to be asking you guys kind of along the same theme of which characters you like best from which game. So without further ado, I'm going to be asking you guys, who is your favorite Star Fox crew member? Not from the game Star Fox, but the actual team Star Fox. There are, I believe, 7 possible members that you can choose from. Only the current members, though, is the only rule. So Fox, Falco, Slippy, Peppy, Crystal, and Rob64, I believe, are the only members that you can choose from. I could be wrong, there could be more, but I believe that's it. Alright, so don't forget to leave that down in the comments below, and then make sure to subscribe or follow NinBuzz on Twitter if you have not already. And of course, you can also subscribe to my personal channel at Shadow Resho Gaming or follow me on the Twitter. And that's all I have to say. So I will see all of you lovely people in the next episode.